Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and this story is bananas. So stay tuned. I'm going to break you through all of it. Now, if you know me, you know I hate cancel culture. In fact, I hate it so much, I created a sub-channel talking about it. And cancel culture has morphed into a lot of things, actually. There's a specific term for what cancel culture is, but what I've noticed recently is that the media sort of taking the idea of cancel culture and sort of attempting to cancel people just for clicks. They attempt to create fake outrage and want you to get angry in order to get the attention. And, you know, when it's around celebrities, I still don't endorse it, but I feel like, all right, well, look, a celebrity has signed up for this. You know, they're a celebrity. Whether they want to or whether this is fair or not, they've become public figures. But now, the New York Post, you know, the amazingly... I don't like the New York Post, but it's not for political reasons. It's for the fact of things like this, and I have my own personal bone to pick with them. But now the New York Post is calling out regular people. Not just regular people, but medics in the New York City region. This random woman was a medic and apparently was doing some spicy photos on OnlyFans. I mean, nothing too crazy, just, you know, typically what... For those that don't know what OnlyFans is, it's like Instagram, but sometimes, you know, you see a little bit. That's what it is. Because on Instagram, you can't show anything. But a lot of suggestion on Instagram, but OnlyFans allows you, you know, you can do whatever you want over there. And a lot of people sort of trick their audiences to come over and think they're going to get a lot more, but you only get like a little side sort of peek. It's very Playboy-esque more than anything else usually. Now, there's some other people who go, you know, deeper into that, but that's what OnlyFans is. It's an opportunity for people to become a monthly member to get exclusive photos only there. And it's like a spicier Instagram more often than not. From what I have never subscribed to any, I promise, but I've done research on some other stories about it, and that's what I've gathered. It's look, people got to do what they got to do, especially in the era we live in right now. Everyone's trying to make ends meet. So here's a ambulance worker who is trying to make ends meet and decides to do an OnlyFans. Okay, there must be something more to this story, right? Because why is the New York Post singling this woman out with her full name, practically doxing her? Is what they're doing right now to just call her out. There must be something, right, guys? Let's go through this. A young paramedic says she's so cash-strapped for a low-paying ambulance job that she moonlighted by selling online access to spicy photos of herself. There she is, her full name. Oh, and there's the place she works, her age, what the business does, and then how she posts images on her OnlyFans where subscribers can see her in spicy content for fees starting at $11.99 per month. The bottom line, I don't get paid a lot. I'm just trying to make ends meet, she told the Post. I truly don't think this has anything to do with being a paramedic. She's right. It has nothing to do with it. In fact, when I first saw this, I was like, all right, well, something must be weird, because I saw it on Twitter. A lot of people sharing, so let me click on this. And then I thought, well, she must have like done this for press. This must have been like something she did in order to get like, you know, OnlyFans subscribers. And I thought, well, you know, brilliant marketing end on this. Turns out, no. Before I keep going on this article, I want to pull back the curtain on what actually happened here. This thing has gone massively viral. And here she is reacting to it. As soon as it got released in this New York EMC watch where she works, Senior Care makes to make ends meet, it went there to her, like, professional community. And that's when she said, I want to effing die. My career is effing ruined. I could be jobless in the middle of the pandemic, all because someone tipped the New York Post that I had an OnlyFans. I will probably lose my job, and my name will be blacklisted from all New York City EMSs. I risked my life for months, and this is what I get. I mean, so this, just so you understand the actual backstory of this, like, she's not out there promoting herself, trying to get more fans. No, this was a dude, Dean, let me go back and make sure we give this author credit. Dean Balsamini and Susan Edelman, and they needed two writers, guys. Dean decided, you know what? I'm going to go find someone who has an OnlyFans and maybe probably shouldn't, and let's shame them. Let's go publicly shame them and just get some clicks, and whatever happens to her, who cares? Now, typically what happens in a case like this is the story goes out, no one really does anything for it, and the only people that tend to usually find it are the employers. And then the employers get, you know, a couple dozen reactions or complaints, sometimes less. And that's enough to cancel someone, to lose their job. And then everyone moves on and that person's life is destroyed. Guys, it happens all the time. That's what I'm always fighting against. It's that type of culture we live in where people, a dozen people will say, I don't stop. This is wrong. And then someone gets nervous who works for the company. And then they just like say, bye. We don't want to employ you anymore. And that has huge ramifications for people. That for what? For what purpose are we doing that? Why have we given people on social media all this power I don't get it. So just so you are clear on that, beyond that, even more, she makes it clear in this other follow-up post, which I'm going to give you the full context of it all. She asked this reporter to not use her name. Most of the quotes in this article are me defending myself to this reporter. He did not include that I begged him to remain anonymous, which was never agreed to, and that I told him my safety and my job were going to be at risk if he posted the article. He truly did not care. He went on to call my employer and my mother. As some of you may know, I've been at home with family in West Virginia following my father going to cardiac arrest last week. I have not been able to speak with my employer because of this, and I still don't know what they're going to do. As right now, I still don't have a job. I still do have a job, but I will probably find out tomorrow if I don't. So she's now at the risk of losing. Now her friends have set up a GoFundMe. I'll get to all this, but before you sort of see how this reacted, like what is the New York Post doing? Like, what are you doing, Dean and Susan? Why is this news? Why are you shaming this woman who's on the front line doing ambulance work for the best she can, trying to make ends meet, trying to support her family who clearly has medical bills piling up, and it's hard to do with an ambulance salary. I see a lot of people shaming her, saying, oh, well, she's making this $25 an hour. It's not. In New York, it's not, especially if you got bills with family members who are sick. Definitely not. A lot of people don't just have savings lying around. So everyone's just shaming from all ends this poor woman, where it's like, so what? Why is this a story? What are we doing? So this whole story, I don't even want to give this more leeway, but he just goes into like, bottom line is I don't get paid a lot. I'm just trying to make ends meet. She told the Post. I truly don't think it has anything to do with me being a paramedic. It doesn't. Then he goes in and profiles her whole account using the handle this, Blairden suggestive site. The 5'2", 120-pound West Virginia transplant began posting content in August 2019. A subscriber to her site found 32 posts on November 25th, including a photo, blah, blah, blah. Like, what? I mean, this is disgusting that this guy's getting in this detail. Who cares? Why? At the end of the day, it doesn't affect how I treat people, she says. What I do in my free time is my business. Facts. It has no effect on how I care for my patients. I know when I'm working, I'm a paramedic. I think I'm pretty good at my job. There are plenty of people who are medical professionals who have every right to do what they want with their own bodies. I'm not doing it at work. Healthcare workers are making a lot of money, aren't making a lot of money, and I'm not the only one trying to make ends meet. And then they go into pursuit. She started with a performing arts degree where Jason Derulo went to school, blah, 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 blah. She lives in the Bronx, started auditioning, but soon realized she didn't like showbiz and wasn't giving back to her community. She then started EMT school, graduated the following February. Good for her. She took an arts degree, decided, wow, this isn't really working. I'm going to try and do something more meaningful in my life. Then goes and does that work and gets it. And then she starts working for this firm at minimum wage. After a year on the job, she stopped working temporarily to complete paramedic training, which now charges $13 in tuition. So she's racking up bills. She's got to pay those all off, which is a cost, guys, to get into the level where you're at. And now she finally is earning $25 an hour after all this work. Good for her. Still not a lot to live off of in New York with all your loans and everything else, and have insurance. Life is expensive. Trust me, I'm learning that now my own as I rebuild and don't have the massive salary I used to living in California. But so anyway, this is ridiculous. And so this is it. So she's making this salary, pays pretty crappy. Another paramedic said of rookie jobs with private ambulance, it's where you go to get experience. She worked as a hostess at a Korean steakhouse. I mean, what is the story? She was not secretive about her online exploits. She made her last name known in her Instagram timeline. And her Twitter handle at Foxy Llama said New York Paramedic, along with solicitation for. So this guy went and did internet sleuthing to figure out what her accounts were. Her Twitter clearly didn't have her name. And so this guy now connected it all and put it in a huge... I mean, dude, Lauren, I hope you've called a lawyer. Because this kind of reporting, you aren't a public figure. I don't know the law, but what the hell is this guy... What are these reporters doing? They are DOXing you. I don't understand. I got to be careful because YouTube will hurt my video if I say too many words too often and they don't share the video with you. It's a frustrating platform around here. But what on earth is this? She had her last name was on Instagram, and then her Twitter handle said New York Paramedic, along with her OnlyFans. So someone put together the dots, like that Always Sunny meme to Charlie. It's like this guy was in his office, stalking this poor girl. What are you doing? At first, after she first spoke the post, she deleted at least 7 posts. So then they go and call her out. It's after we called her out, she went and deleted them. What is she supposed to do? What is enough? Can you believe this? This is horrific. Including a offer to watch a 16-second shower video for $10. I mean, ugh. I'm not ugging her. I'm ugging him. You are despicable. This is despicable reporting. It's bottom of the barrel, Dean. You are disgusting that this is what we're reporting. This, if everything going on in the world, this is the story? The only reason the story has gone viral is because everyone's calling you out, including myself. That's what the story is, you, not her. So way to expose yourself here, because you'd absolutely need to apologize to this woman. So then after she spoke, after they basically said, we're about to call you out. And they don't mention that she's like, please don't, because I might get fired. They ignore all that after she starts deleting the videos. As of Fridays, her OnlyFans posts were deleted. So he's been like, he clearly was a member. He clearly signed up to pay for it and get all that dirt and then saved it. And then like, it's basically threatening her. I know my boss would deem this inappropriate, so I took it down in the hopes that I won't lose my job in the middle of a pandemic. And 3 weeks before Christmas, she texted. She said the work had asked to meet her. A veteran paramedic agreed that EMT pay is paltry, but blasted Quee's choice of a side career. I mean, F you. Why? Who cares? Other EMTs and paramedics make more money by pulling extra shifts instead of pulling off her clothes. Oh my, can you believe this shaming? Oh yeah, just what I want my EMT ambulance driver to do is have more shifts so they're exhausted on the job, so there's potentially something worse that goes down. That's just what I want. Yeah, you know what? In order to make ends meet and pay off your loans, just pull extra shifts. How dare you do this? Sounds like someone's super jealous. Can you believe this? On the website, the descriptions of all jobs forbid inappropriate conduct on off-duty. The requirements include it adheres to standards of personal ethics on and off-duty, which reflect credit upon profession. They did not respond to multiple requests for comment. This man, this author, is attempting to destroy this woman's life. Look at this. They are just saying, oh well. The job description online says inappropriate conduct is off. Like, they have not responded to multiple requests for. Like, what is happening? Who is okay with this? You better not be okay with this, because this kind of stuff will bleed far beyond what she did. Personal life and private life, work life, personal life need to be separate, especially if you're creating them with your own little dummy accounts and Twitter accounts, and it takes a reporter from the New York Post to come do the sleuthing to put the things together. This is clearly someone who had it out for her, maybe an ex-boyfriend, someone awful, who then tips off this reporter, and then he does this reporting to destroy this woman's life. This is horrific. I'm just floored. This is cancel culture at its worst, because it's a media outlet. It is a gossip mag going through this to call out a human being, regular person who's not famous. So let's break all this down. So here it is, 9,000 people in here going crazy on this. And to get more clear on here, that was her statement I already got there. But then what was interesting to call this out, New York Post, the Sun picked it up. Here it is. Paramedic is making ends meet by sharing spicy rated pics on OnlyFans. When you click on it, look what happens. Yep, I tried it multiple times. Then I went and Googled it. When I click on it from 2 days ago, it's unavailable. You know what happened, I think? I think the Sun realized, even the Sun realized, take that article down. Take that reporter is going to get in some deep doo-doo. Take ours down. Don't you dare put that, get rid of that. Can you believe this? But here it is for the record. The Sun absolutely posted to for 2 days. So remember that. If you're watching this, Lauren, remember that. Go after the Sun as well, because the Sun is the worst. Ask Johnny Depp. They are the worst. And even they just noticed we should pull that one. Because you aren't a celebrity. You aren't a celebrity. Talk to a lawyer. Please tell this person to talk to a lawyer, because this is horrific. And if you can get the New York Post, please get the New York Post to pay you, because I hate them. They are the worst. And it's not political. Really quick, the reason I hate the New York Post specifically, if you go to, and this is public, Warren Cohen, you did this. I made my Hugging the Cactus, which I plugged in the beginning. Go support it. But when I made a trailer, I spoke to one of my subjects, Dale, who gave me permission to use clips from a show that he gave clips to. And so I accidentally used 3 seconds of one that I didn't realize wasn't his and belonged to the New York Post. And the New York Post not only like copyrighted me and did that, which they had multiple ways they could have done this. They could have asked for permission. They could have told me to take it down. They could have pulled revenue from my stream. There are like tons of options they could have done to get credit and do the proper thing. They chose the most extreme example, which was to not only pull the video, but deem a copyrights claim and strike on my channel, which then potentially, if I didn't go through a bunch of protocols and if I'd gotten any other strikes in the time, would have shut my channel down. All monetization would have shut me off YouTube because I used 4 seconds due to a misunderstanding of this guy, Warren Cohen, who then I proceeded to talk to I got a lawyer, talk to them. I wrote him, just to him, just to say, hey, what's going on? And he then was like scared. And he's, what? Oh, my lawyer's like, they said you're trying to harass them. Dude, your name's right there. Your name's right there. Everybody was messaging me about it. And you shut it down, and I tried to communicate and explain to you and asked you very politely if we could talk. I'd give you credit. I figured out to explain that Dale wasn't there. Dude, New York Post sucks, okay? I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like, this is yet another example to prove that. That's why I'm not a fan of them. I don't like it from previous experience. I don't like it in this experience. They don't, it's not good business practices. They aren't. To me, it's what they've done isn't ethical. It's morally ethical. I be careful what I'm saying here, I guess, because clearly they're litigious. But I'm telling you, for all of us, if you can find, I'm sure somebody out there can see this, a lawyer, somebody reach out to this poor woman, help her out, and do that. On top of helping her out, you can actually really help her out. So what happened here is, and then people were calling out like, what, firefighters are allowed to do this, but she's not allowed to do that? Facts. This reporter, Dean, was the same guy who put on like a MAGA hat and like went undercover to like areas to piss off people, is the kind of reporting he does. Cool stuff. It's really cool stuff. It's just craziness. But anyway, finally some people, after she's sort of losing it, alternate headline, New York Med is not being paid sustainable income despite her important role, particularly during a pandemic, takes on additional job and admirably manages both, but really should just be paid more in her current job. Facts. So she started finally getting some love here. People were finally supporting her, and she started up a GoFundMe. I feel like I don't even deserve this money. Good for her. You do. What you just went through, this is going to live forever. People might say, Andy, who cares? Who cares about this girl? Dude, her name is now forever associated with this. When she tried to do it in private when she needed some extra cash, she's allowed. We're all allowed to do what we got to do. As long as it's legal, as long as it's consensual, who cares? And so finally, and then AOC even chimed in. Leave her alone. The actual scandalous headline here is medics in the U.S. need 2 jobs to survive. And she's right in this case. Don't always agree with AOC. In this case, I do. And so that's the problem, right? And so New York Post, they gotta love the New York Post. And so at least she made her Twitter private. Thank God she didn't. Now it's unlocked. I hope she does gather some support from you guys, follows, kind support, donations if you want to help her out. I'm going to make a change, just at least to use good pics of me. Thank you so much for the love and support. I cannot believe this is my life. I truly do not deserve this. And then here, the real shame here is the Rolling Stone now has picked it up, talked about it. So a lot of other people like me here are covering the good side of the story. I haven't heard from my job because they want me to speak in person. I'm 500 miles away, and I don't feel safe going back to New York with all my info right there. Honestly, I wouldn't blame her. This is viral, mega viral. Her photos are everywhere. Her work should call her. And I don't understand what she's done. Nothing that I've seen in any of the reporting from New York Post or anything shows that she has done anything to demean her job. Why are women put through this? So a woman can't pose in her underwear, and now suddenly, privately, to people who want to do that, and now suddenly she's the devil and can never help people again in her during her work time. I mean, what happens behind closed doors is behind closed doors. I understand. Why are we judging this person? And so here she is. So there's a GoFundMe. Her Twitter here is Foxy with 2 X's Llama. If you go support her or follow her as it's growing, it'll probably grow today. She's wow. That increased even more. So look. There's the good news. That's good. So thank God she's been doing well. The story is trailing high. I'm glad she's sort of pinned and stopped being private. That's the biggest advice I can offer to her or anybody else out there is when this does happen and you're in the right and you didn't do anything wrong, which I don't think she's done anything wrong, don't hide. You got to embrace this is a short window of attention she's going to get. Ride it. ride the PR wave as best you can. Use their links to your advantage. It's still what they did isn't fair because now they've sort of defined you, and I think there's still emotional distress here. Just because she just made 30 grand or whatever from this doesn't mean she didn't that this won't affect her later. This has huge ramifications. In fact, if she does lose her job, that's going to affect her more than whatever donations she's got in. And those donations are only as practical because the New York Post did wrong. They absolutely did wrong. In fact, the Sun pulled the link. I mean, what does that tell you? That tells you this was a bad story, and they realized it, and they adjusted it quickly. The Post still has yet to do that. Dean and Susan, you both should be ashamed of yourselves. This is reporting right now in the midst of a pandemic. This is what we're talking about. If you want to do this article, talk about the fact that, be on her side, the fact that she had to do this. She didn't know what else to do to help pay for her sick family members while working her job and trying not to exhaust herself. That's your story, dude. What are you doing here? This is insane. This is insane to me. That's the story I got for you. Guys, what do you think? Tell me your thoughts down below. Go support her. I appreciate it. If you haven't subbed here, support us at Popcorn Planet. Hit that subscribe button. Hit all alerts. Smash that like button and leave a positive or whatever comment you want down below. It helps the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. In fact, I'll put Hugging the Cactus over on the right-hand side, or you can check out Popcorn Planet on the left side. In fact, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, everybody.